take care of yourself. God, as a Christian, speak to your children now. Nobody should sit on the fence now. Be vigilant. Tell your children, when they go to school, the teacher is not their God. They learn academic things from their teachers. But morally, you, the parent, are in charge of your children. I greet you, beloved of God. It's another beautiful week that God has blessed us with. I thank you for always making time and joining me on this channel. If you are new on this channel, kindly hit the subscription button, hit the post notification, and get notified anytime we upload a new video.
We're going to protect Christianity, and I can say that. I don't have to be politically correct, or we're going to protect it.
Now, a few months ago, I came across a video of America's former president, Donald Trump, saying something like this.
Gender insanity being pushed on our children is an act of child abuse. Very simple. Here's my plan to stop the chemical, physical, and emotional mutilation of our youth. On day one, I will revoke Biden's cruel policies on so-called gender-affirming care. Ridiculous. A process that includes giving kids puberty blockers, mutating their physical appearance, and ultimately performing surgery on minor children. Can you believe this?
Now, when I watched this video, I got alarmed and scared. Why did I get alarmed and scared? I got alarmed and scared because Donald Trump, in this video or in that video, we all heard him say that medical facilities, medical doctors are giving hormonal blockers to children to prevent them from developing in their natural gender they are born with. And so if a child is born as male, the doctors can give hormonal blockers at a very young age to that child, and that child will begin to develop as a female. And as a parent, you may not even know. So your child will grow, you know you have given birth to a boy or a girl, but at the time you gave birth at the hospital, you didn't even know the kind of injections these doctors are giving to your kids. You thought maybe they were just like immunizing them against maybe polio or some other diseases, but they are giving them hormonal blockers. And so your child in their growing up will begin to manifest a different nature from the gender they are born with. And then they will begin to say, oh, okay, I am born gay. I feel like I'm trapped in a different gender's body. And that is where it all begins. And that is why I am always worried about the people, especially the Christians, who want to keep quiet about this, who want to sit on the fence and act as though nothing is at stake. Today, I'm going to show you a video of a young lady, and I'm going to show this video in part. So we are doing a part 1 today. Hopefully, I'll continue with the part 2 next week. Now, this lady is confessing before the Senate of America, and she's telling her ordeal, what she has been taking through, what she has gone through in the hands of people who deceived her, that she has been trapped in a different body. Let's watch her.
My name is Prisha Mosley. I was a 15-year-old girl when the trans community found me. Already diagnosed with multiple mental illnesses, including anorexia, a body dysmorphic disorder, and borderline personality disorder, a trauma disorder, I was easy to manipulate and convince that I had been born in the wrong body. I was told that this was the reason for all of my mental and emotional distress. I was told that changing my gender would cure me. As an impressionable and mentally ill child, I fully believed this. I also believed that my sexual assault, which happened at age 14, only happened to girls. I wanted to transition to be safe, and I was allowed to make permanent changes to my health due to these beliefs. Beginning at 17, high doses of testosterone were injected into my anorexic body. This was done by a pediatrician in the same hospital where I was seeing a nutritionist for my severe malnutritionist and regularly receiving stitches for cutting and other self-harming behavior. What I don't understand is why they never offered me counseling to help me with the depression, the trauma, the personality disorder, or my ongoing self-harm. It was clear that they were solely focused on pushing me into transition without any regard for all of the other clear challenges and issues I was experiencing. Testosterone had extreme side effects, more and more of which I am discovering every day. I suffered hair growth all over my body and hair loss on my head. My shoulders rapidly broadened beyond my frame, causing me to be disproportionate, clumsy, and in pain. My neck, back, and shoulders constantly burn, and all of my joints ache all of the time. Testosterone also caused changes in my vocal cords and throat. I can no longer sing or really raise my voice, and speaking for long periods of time causes me pain. My endocrine system is ruined, and I'm no longer able to regulate my own hormones. I have no choice but to be medicated for this for the rest of my life. One of the worst side effects has been vaginal atrophy. This is the shrinking and thinning of the vagina. It is so severe that I am no longer able to use tampons because it is so small, and I'm afraid that I will tear. This has happened before. 1 year after starting wrong sex hormones, despite persistent self-harm, my healthy breasts were removed. I was told I would have sensation in my chest within 1 year. Instead, my chest is numb except for the occasional zapping pain. I almost lost my nipples. After being grafted, pieces of them stuck to my bandage and fell off, and I no longer have them. During the time in which I was receiving gender-affirming care, my psychiatrists and psychologists had to ask me at the beginning of each appointment what my name was, who the president was, and what year it was, because I was so far from reality. They told me no to liposuction and yes to a radical double mastectomy. I was too unhealthy to consent to lipo, but not to top surgery. I was convinced that my puberty was a disease, and I trusted my doctors in the trans community when they told me they had the cure, but it wasn't true. I stand now before you in an aching body, which is no longer mine. I don't recognize myself when I look in the mirror. I am suffering from severe medical issues with which no doctors will help me, and insurance covers nothing. The medical professionals who did this to me have abandoned me, and the trans community has abandoned me. My doctors assisted me in mutilating myself, and then left me in the cold when I wanted the harm to stop. But when I see young girls in my situation, young girls who have experienced sexual trauma, who are suffering from mental illness, and who suffer from body dysmorphia disorders, or who feel pressured by social media or their peers to conform to certain stereotypes of femininity, my heart breaks for them. And while the damage done to my body can never be fully reversed, I can be an advocate for those girls in the same position I was. Thank you.
Now, if someone should tell me, or anybody tells me, that this is not an agenda being pursued and being carried out, I would say the person doesn't know what is going on around the world today. Because this girl is just saying, or she has just told us, and you have just listened. This is just a part of the whole story. It's quite lengthy, so I think I should be bringing it to you in bits. This is just the first part of her testimony. Now, this girl is saying that at the age of 14, she was sexually abused. Again, she was mentally not well. She had trauma disorders. She had a lot of conditions that made her feel uncomfortable in herself. Now, when she spoke to the medical doctors or the medical practitioners, and when she came across people in the trans community, they convinced her, they lied to her, they deceived her that all her problems is because she is in a wrong body. All the mental issues she's having is just because she is in a wrong body. She's supposed to be a male and she has been born in a female body, and that is the problem with her. All the trauma, all the psychological issues she was having is as a result of what she has been born into, even as a boy or as a male. At age 15, she thought that for her sexual abuse that she experienced at age 14, it is because she's a female, and if she were to be a boy, she would never be sexually abused. And that is, understandable for, a child at age 14 to think like that. That because I have been sexually abused, if I transition and I become a different gender, I will no longer be sexually abused. That is a child's way of thinking. And so when the child came into contact with these people who are professionals, what should they have done? Instead of counseling her, instead of letting her understand that this is not, to make you decide to transition from being a female to a male, they kind of edged her on. They even deceived her and lied to her more and more. And they transitioned this girl into becoming a boy. And we all heard her testimony. What is going on through her body? Now she's stuck. She cannot come back. She cannot come back to be a female. And what saddens me is when she said that all the people that urged her on, all the people that encouraged her, all the people that were there, giving her all the support. You need to transition. You need to be a transgender. You need to transition from a female to a male. All these people, when she had finished transitioning, when she had become what they wanted her to be, and now she is having problems, they are nowhere to be found. She cannot even contact them. And the doctors are saying, there is nothing we can do for you. Now you are stuck. You need to manage it yourself. And like she said, she has now fallen on herpes. If that is going to work, I don't even know, and nobody knows. We have to rise up and speak out. We cannot sit on the fence now, because these people are not joking. These people are not playing anymore. These people are not playing anymore. These people are not playing anymore. And like the Bible says, and I want to speak to them, that my Bible says, woe to you who call evil good and who call good evil. Those who call for darkness instead of light, and those who say the bitter is sweet and the sweet is bitter. Woe unto you. Jesus said, cursed be the world for the sake of sin. For the sin, it will come, it will happen. But by those whom the sin will come, those through whom the sin will come, they are finished. They are dead, because he will not forgive them. Why are we doing this to our world? Of course, we know the agenda. And these people, they have time to spend. They have time to wait. They give themselves, a long time to execute whatever they have to execute. And their plan and, their goal is to cut down the population of the world, the growth of the world, the population growth of the world. That is what they are seeking to achieve. And so it is either they maintain it or they reduce it. And how are they going to be able to do that? Some, have said that they brought these pandemics and these viruses to cut down the numbers. Some are saying that. But this is also a means by which they want to achieve their goal. That they will push this agenda, and a time will come, people will not be able to reproduce their own kind. The God we serve, the God who made his world, the God who is in charge of his world, would make sure his will is done. I thank you for making time with me today. Take care of yourself and speak out as a Christian. Speak to your children now. Nobody should sit on the fence now. Be vigilant. Tell your children, when they go to school, the teacher is not their God. They learn academic things from their teachers. But morally, you, the parent, are in charge of your children. God bless you, and may God enable us to do this for the good of our children and for the glory of his name. In the name of Jesus. Bye-bye.